I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is January 27, Monday, 2024. Hope you had a good day and a good weekend. So as we discussed, they ended up dropping it hard, obviously for 1,000+ points. I made this video on the 22nd. Today's the 27th. We were talking about coming down and wiping out liquidity. Now, this move here before the double top, they didn't do that. So what we did, we got the double top here, and then we came down. So this is what I was trying to draw right here. So just exclude this line and this line. And if you button that up, you'll see that we had a double top and then we came down. That's exactly what happened. But again, this move didn't occur. So, and I was talking about us selling from there and then getting into that daily gap right there. Plus, well, on this time, I didn't have the imbalance drawn out, but you'll see that, man, they opened up and obviously that's manipulation, dude. Market's not opening up at 6 o'clock on Sunday and dropping the hell like that. So they're trying to rush for that. And that was in the cards for the 15-year data. So, fucking beautiful, man. Look at that massive drop. But this is what I was talking about. That's that double top I was talking about. That's why I was telling everybody like about here. But and getting into here, and if you've seen the community tab, you see I screenshotted it here. But anyways, dropping the hell. Where's it going? Obviously, it's wiping out that entire fucking leg, dude. Even down to there. Where did it come to? Oh, what a coincidence, right? Nice gap right there. That gap right there, as you see. And I talked about this area not having a yeah, wasn't I talking about this? Yeah, there was no body there. There was a up body, but there was no down candle. So I don't know if that's I mean, I want to assume that the bottom side is done for now, because the 15-year data shows that we're supposed to now just buy up in February. So that's what I was trying to say here. What, like this buy up here, this was leading into February. Forget down here, I wasn't matching it. But leading down here to the end of January, and then last couple days of January, I mean, we then start pushing up. So far that's in the lead. I'm in this trade actually now, at the bottom here. Well, it's not really a bottom, but right there. So as you see, we blew through the gaps, kind of paused right here, and then shot to this gap. See that? Look at the opens and the closes right there. Then headed straight for this gap, ultimately taking out those lows. So in this kind of a big drop, if you look at if we just look at this time frame here, right? As you see, when we drop down here, what do? We push up, and then we retrace back deep, and then we start pushing up. So in this case, I'd like to see that now. I mean, obviously this is a little shallow, but if you look at the bearish imbalance on the this daily here, obviously using it, as I say, treat this like a 1 minute, right? If this was a 1 minute chart, which is the daily, you look at that inversion right there, which is January 10th, Friday, right? So that's dragged out here in pink. And you could see that when we pushed up, when we bought here, what did we do? We came right to that low of the previous week's low. So that's like a breakout trader level as well. I mean, you could have, that's why they came all the way back up. All right, so we pushed up here, stuck into that imbalance right there. You can see the body sitting there, and then we retrace back down to the gap here, plus that 50% of that bearish imbalance. Now let's take a look. We're using that as support right now, and I'm hoping that it's going to stay because I'm obviously in this trade. But you can see the bodies nicely. Look at that. Look at that. Very clean on the 1 hour. Let's go into some of the price action here. If you looked at the 15-minute, that last down candle, you can see that we pushed up into a 2 to 2.5. The opening range fell short of the 50%, obviously, but and then we retrace back to wipe out that 930 liquidity because that was fucking super easy to buy. So let's take a look here. As you can see, here. So this was like basically like pretty much breakout level, retrace back. This is now almost a 930. Retrace back right into, if you look at the 15-minute, I don't have it highlighted because there's way too much shit on the chart, but I'm talking about this candle here. It is 8 o'clock. See how we bust through and then we come right back? That's basic as breakout trader and then support level. And at the 9:30, we dip in right into it. Fucking beautiful. And then the 9:30 just comes down, gets into the wick of the 9:27. I know there's kind of a lot here. The 9:27 here, and then just takes off, pushes off hard. Where's it going? Obviously, it's trying to wipe out liquidity to the left of the chart. Ultimately, the goal was to get into that low, which is the previous week's low. So it was beautiful. So if you're holding that trade here, you're taking it. Where are you taking it? Well, so there's a lot of ways to do this, but I just retraced this entire leg from up down, right? The last higher high to higher low in this scenario, and then projected it up here to 2 to 2.5 here. It's coupled with that bearish imbalance. If you look on the 1 hour, you can see it's on at the 2 o'clock in the morning, right? 2 o'clock in the morning right there. It's highlighted, obviously. And you can see we come right to, well, the first 25% of the gap, and then we're using 50% of that hour imbalance that I just talked about. As you can see, we break that swing right there. All right, we break the swing and retrace back deep, okay, super deep, and holds off for a nice sell. So before we even get there, sorry, I'm jumping over the place. That first imbalance, obviously in this green, you can see we're tagging that 50% level. We're also on top of that bearish imbalance in the background, which is the heavy. It's always going to be the higher time frame imbalances for me are always going to have a blue little border around it. And then the lower time frames they're not going to have that, right? So just so you can follow me. But we tap that right there, right? We get some drives up here. We get there. And then again, change the state of delivery right there. Break. That's a lower high. So and keeping it structure simple here. Excuse me. I'm over here stuttering. All right. So now here's the thing. With this leg, I should have did it different. Hold on a second. Oh my God. So I'll do it on the 15-minute real quick, so you can see it. But when we drop the hell like that, you expect kind of like a higher high. Okay, a high, I should say, and then a higher low, right? Before you start coming back up, right? But the thing is that this was a big ass daily. Look how long this fucking candle is. I don't even think I've even seen a candle this big. I don't even think when we were in August 5th, remember this drop right here? Yep, August 5th right there. Remember that? It wasn't even that big. So this is super alarming. But at the same time, this is in the 15-year data where we're supposed to come back and retrace. Now, they did it all in fucking 1 day, which is so bogus. But now we're supposed to be pushing up. So in that case, pushing up, I want to make this video short. So this is basically what I'm saying. And then I'm trying to see that, right? So you're getting your higher highs and higher lows. And then as you can see, I'm going to transfer it to 1 minute. You see we finale up here. Again, there's so much to talk about, but we are in a 2 to 2.5 right there of that projection of that candle. You can see that. That's why, we're sitting in here. I'm not going to be able to explain everything. This is just way too much, but just basically wiping out and squeezing out that liquidity. But ultimately the goal was to get up to, let me delete this now. Well, I'm not going to delete it, but the highs here, you can see we're pushing up, right? Just anyone like late sellers here, and just for extra measure to push up. So anyways, you see that now, right? Now we get the higher high. We get the high, right? And then retracing down, we get the higher low. The high to the higher low. What does that look like? Well, it look dirty like this. As you can see, we shift right there, right? You see that shift right there? We break up, boom. That's pretty much resistance right there. These 4 up candles right there. That's that open. Look at the open, just tagging it, and then down. Now we're coming down. Now, what do you expect when you're from a higher high to a higher low? In general speaking, we're expecting like 3 drives. In this case, it's pretty dirty, and it's hard to see, but I'm going to draw the structure inside this just so we can see it. Let's do it. This was a controller price right here. All right, so let's just do it like this. Lower low, lower high. Lower low, lower high. Lower low. Now this pops up and takes that out, right? But doesn't close, just the game ain't perfect. And then lower low, And now we're making a new, this should be a shift here in the case. And that's what I'm anticipating. As you can see, let me just change this to, I don't know, what the hell. Blue is fine. So you see that? And that's the main structure. And then inside, fanning out right here, this is very typical. We're bouncing in between gaps. And I am at the bottom here in this entry here. Why am I here? Well, because of the fact that, look, if you look at this low to high to higher low, you're gonna want to take out internal liquidity. You don't have to see the candles, it's fine. But that liquidity right there. Why? Because this was super fucking easy. All right, delete this real quick. But when we busted through, you expect, well, you don't expect anything, but in general speaking, you expect to come back because this was open wide, like super open wide. So yeah. Anyways, what was I gonna say? So you can see we're sitting at 50% of the bearish imbalance. Plus, we're sitting in that gap. This gap right here. See that? So we're in there, and we're pretty much on a higher time frame, respecting it. You can see the body sitting inside it. Just very common to come back to the 930, especially when it was such an easy breakout level from here, like support, resistance, support, pretty much. Like, I mean, it didn't get any easier than that. And then if you see what was troubling me earlier in the day was this gap. See this little miniature gap right here from 806 to 807. See that gap? And at the 930, these or I should say 927, they didn't tag as a you motherfuckers. So what did we do? I'll squinch it up a little bit. Maybe you could see it right there. Let's see if I can do this. I need to be done. So when we came all the way down, this is why I'm buying here as well, because the algorithm has completed its objective. So we literally we hit that gap, and then they're just breaking out. They're just wiping out the breakout traders here, plus that liquidity there. I mean, just to keep it fucking simple. And then if you see here the projection, well, this could have been done plenty of ways, but let's see here. No, I'm not going to go there. But it was pretty simple. This was originally like this. Failed. So a lot of bogus structure, speakering, and yeah. So and dollar also coming down. So that's a mixed market. It's but I'm basing my strategy right now based off of the 15-year historical data for NASDAQ. So, and it shows that we push up. So the dollar was not helpful at all. I mean, the way they should have jumped up the way we all dropped. But if we looked at yields is still coming down, and bonds is looking like it's kind of found a floor and pushing up. So but they did this. This is just like August 5th, man. That shit over here. When we had this push down like that, that's the same story. So now we're making a wick here on the daily. Well, if I screwed over, and it's just so large. Now it's like the trouble with my trade right now, because the 15-year data literally shows this. So I mean, I'm going to go back to this. It literally shows making the double top, which was pushed here, and then coming down. I mean, and it shows actually wiping out that liquidity. I just did it here for good measure, and then showing you to push up. So now I would expect to push up, which it's doing it, right? Which is great. But the issue is that when we close today like this, we're gonna have a big ass fucking wick. So if you take a look back in August, just going for this example here, see this big ass wick right here? So what happened the next day, August 6th, which was Tuesday? Oh, this was actually a Monday as well, by the way. So what did we do? I mean, it was just sloppy, right? Speakering out there, getting a little bit lower into the wick, and then taking off, right? So that's the thing. I might see something like that happen here. Does the next day want to dip in a little bit and then push up? So I'm not really bearish. I'm not really bearish. I'm still following the flow, and this was all part of the move. This big sell off. I was screaming it about a big sell off. I didn't expect it all happen on fucking today and last night. Jesus, but I'm expecting this to hold. So we'll see. We have Fed rates on Wednesday, I think. So the only thing is are we going to get something stupid like this, right? Some type of sloppiness here. So we'll see. I'm not saying my trade's going to pan out. I am in a good place, but it is what it is. So I think that fell short of 50%, didn't it? Yeah, real short. I mean, like points. See that? So we'll see if that holds up here. And then also with that understanding, we had a lot of higher lows here with Nas. I'm sorry, with Dow, and then we're getting, as you can see, the little curve right there, getting to sweep liquidity. We had higher lows here. That's a divergence for us pushing up. Excuse me. And then you can see fucking S&P got into that 5-minute imbalance originally, and we did not. So that was a nice push back up, right? And then when we got here, we had another higher low. This was pretty much signaling the rest of the day that we're gonna push up. Is just we're getting these lower. You can see the drives, right? Even though they're sloppy, this is like. Let me see if I can do it this way. This is like phase 1, right there, and then this was phase 2, right there, and then obviously where I got in as the last one. Also, what was helpful is, I mean, the RSI was a little bit sloppy here, but I'm only interested in getting into. It's just kicking now, but I'm only interested in an oversold in this scenario. I'm looking for that. I'm not just buying any raid here, like any of this shit, right? Like, even though I did take a couple losses, plenty of losses actually, but this was fucking beautiful right here. So let me see. I'm all over the place. All right, so Dow pushing up higher. Again, I'm telling you, I still think we're bullish. Even though we had a massive drop, I still think we're bullish. We should be buying into February. So should I hold this? I'm thinking. Shit, that was $100,000 move, man, for me. That fell down and dropped the ball. Got out and fucking told myself to hold it, and I just left it alone. I just thought I'd have another chance on Monday or whatever, and sure enough, that took off. But if I had held that, that's 100 racks right there. Oh my goodness, dude. So, and I told myself, just hold it, bro. Just hold it. Fuck the little profit. Just hold it. I knew, but I expected this entire move. But hey, it is what it is. So again, we got to an oversold here on the 4-hour. Take a look at that. I was screaming about going to an oversold because we were on the overbought. And that happened beautifully. Same thing with the 1-hour and the daily. Now here's again, man, like I would like to see the daily. Man, I wish they would stop doing that. I would like to see the daily over here. I would like to see them get to an oversold, but that means we got to push more lower. And the historical data does show us sweeping the lows here, which this was pretty deep anyway. So we might be done. We might be done with it. So this is gauging this bearish imbalance here as an inversion is gauging. So we got to this gap here. We came up. Resting on that gap. I'd like to see us come. I mean, look, there's no price action in that gap. So there's two things I'm going to mention. This is either going to be a really bearish economy where we don't see this gap for a while and this comes down. I've seen this plenty of times. Or we're coming right up for it, right? Which is, to be honest with you, that's unfair. That's like super unfair price action. And if you can see here, look at in between. I should draw that too. In between this gap right here of January 21st and 22nd, there's a gap there. There's no bodies there. There's no bodies there. So for me, if I'm going to hold this, this is a minimum target. This should be. It should be, because we expect to even break these highs. So let me keep this real simple here. Let me go to 4-hour real quick. I'm going to draw my next projection. And you'll see I'm looking for this. I mean, literally from here. However this looks like. I'm looking for this to go into the first week of, well, in the beginning of February, like this, come into here, finally get to those breakout trader levels right there, possibly, and then retrace back in the first 5 days type of thing, right? And then we just continue our way up, dude, which is going all the way up like that, right? So look, I mean, I was this was on the money, but I just drew it horribly. But this move never existed. Like, it's in the data, but it didn't exist in price action. So and we're already at the end of the month, so like I'm already pushing past the ideas of this. But that double top right there, man, sick. But let me see what else. Am I missing something? Oh, I was supposed to go here. So I already mentioned that they're pushing up. Now they're at that top gap, man. And S&P though, so they came in, got into that gap. That's a last down candle. See this last down candle with that imbalance, and they took that liquidity out. Look at that. That's clean. I mean, not clean, but I mean it's like super suspect. Look at this. I mean, so again, are we gonna get? So we've, like, for in this example, we dropped, we pushed up, and then we sold off again, and then pushed up, right? So we sold off here, we pushed up, and then we sold off a little bit, and now we're pushing up. So I'm hoping that we're in this phase. I'm hoping that we've already came up, retraced, and we've came up to like right here, and now we're kind of like, we're getting this, and maybe the Fed rate is going to push that shit up. And it would make sense for them to wipe everybody out before the next rate comes out, and then now they're gone. And they have literally pulled the rug from everybody, and in a matter of a day, like two, have just changed complete directions while wiping out all the liquidity. It's crazy. I can see that happening. So I think it's back to business again. Right. So again, I'm hoping for that to keep pushing. So you see what I'm saying? Like, you get the big drop, you get to push up, right, to squeeze out the easy sellers here, and then you sell off to wipe out those buyers, and then we continue back up. And this is where I am, and I'm in this trade. So I'm hoping that this is going to stick, because it'd be nice to see if I can catch. And I told myself, that's why I always say on this channel, trust your analysis, trust your analysis. I was like, bro, this thing's gonna I'm like, just hold it. I'm just like, fucking hold it, dude. But you know, it could have gapped up easily and wiped them out and then came down. So that's why I was like, just walk away. But I was, dude, biggest mistake I've ever made. It's not a mistake, but at the same time, I was in the trade and I had told myself hold it. So I should have trusted myself, man. But again, no big deal. As you see, there's moves happening every day, right? But this, I'm hoping for this to push up. Now, hopefully they don't use Wednesday to dip back in here before they push off. Regardless of what happens, I'm buying. Let's make it simple like that for you. Regardless of what happens, I am buying. Okay? Period. So, look at NVIDIA. Stupid gap. And that's sort of alarming, but remember I was talking about, I wanted to see a leg like this. So we got the leg down, which was this leg here. And then we had this structure up, and we squeezed up and we stopped, which we stopped here. And I was like, okay. And then guess what? Then they dropped it back down. So in the sense of where we are, because this is a straight drop, there's no structure. And they've came and squeezed everybody out here. So do we want to dip down one more time to get into here, right? To get into this area here, because this is pretty low without no structure. I mean, to be honest with you, man, it's like, that's just manipulation. So have we now came down here and have done this? Because you see this big drop like that, like in a hurry, that's kind of like what this is, right? So Now I think I've made this video way too long. So I'm looking at the structure like this. And this is just fanning out. See how it's fanning out? So we'll just call it this. I mean, is it a break? I think it's a break right here. I think this is a break because this low made this high. So is that a break and we're headed for another world? I don't know. But I'm looking at it like this. So regardless, I have to look at it like that, right? Like, you know, all that shit in between looks sloppy as hell. So again, sweeping here would make sense. Sweeping here just to get the push out traders right there, sweeping them out. But we'll see, man. Is that a break? But that, I mean, dude, you can't leave this gap like that. It's gonna be nuts. But it is alarming for a bearish market. So, but I don't know. I have to flow with the program, and everything is still kosher. Like this big drop here was kosher. This is, I mean, I'm telling you, like I fucking drew that, right? But you know, minus this bullshit. So with the 15-year data, just so I can make sure I tell you, sometimes it's delayed, sometimes it's advanced, and sometimes you will miss. They will not include a move that it's on the data. So this is my experience. This is what I've learned, what I've seen. So, and this is why I'm explaining these two moves here, gone. So just this down move, you just button this up, push it up to the left. You still got the push up, which would be this push up, but from here, it was just a double top. So just, anyways, I think I'm talking too much now. So, but yeah, this could speaker out here like this, which we already kind of did. Again, I'm looking. That's going to be super awkward though to just push right up now. Looking at data, I mean it's just straight down though, so it's like it shows the last 2-3 days buying up. Well, we first drop and then we get the last 2-3 days, which is where we are now. Last 2-3 days just buying up, completely get into the first of the month, and then just like what I got drawn here. So I don't think there's anything else I need to say. You guys take care and God bless.